So with that process, it might, the content plan will come in, is that they would tell you what you need to interview about, because with the content plan, we usually do a 6-month content plan, right? And if you think of it, there's 4 main pieces of content per month. And with the 6-month content plan, there will be 24 content pieces per month. So you know exactly what are the topics for each month you need to interview the client about. So if you're stuck on, oh, I don't know how to ask them questions, or I don't know what to ask them about, then you can, open your content plan, look at it. And also in a few minutes, I'll tell you the process of how you can also utilize AI tools to write up those interview questions as well. Okay, so I'll jump into the steps now. So before the content interview, you need to gather all of the topics from the content plan, and then you use ChatGPT, which is the tool that we provided you as well, to generate questions. And then after you generate those interview questions, you need to send them to the client beforehand so that they can get prepared. And I put the prompt example here for you to use in the AI tools as well. So you can copy and paste. You can just alter the thing in the bracket, like with the specific content pieces or the industry that your client is in, so that it can generate proper questions for you. And of course, with all AI use, just make sure that you always double check it to ensure that it's generate the effective questions. You might need to spend some time to adjust it as well. AI is just a tool to support your process to make it more efficient, but always check it, humanize it to make sure that it's not too generic. Is this clear so far for you? I know we're learning a new process, so it might take some time to process, but I will share this slide and also the recording so that you can watch this again. And I'm sure that once you start practicing it, there might be a lot of questions coming up, but that's how we can help you more effectively, right? You need to practice it first, see what are the challenges or what are the blockers you face, and then we can help you from there. Okay, step 2, once you have those interview questions, you save it, of course, and then you're running the interview with the client. So during the call, you use Google Meet. So you log into Internet Campus Live email, schedule a meeting with them, and then turn on Gemini AI Gen script to ensure that you capture all of the conversations. You ask questions, and of course, use those questions as a guide only, and be flexible with the follow-up questions at the conversation flow, because sometimes when you ask the first questions, they might already answer the second questions that you're supposed to ask them. So just be flexible, adjusting it based on the conversation, how's it going, and just let them speak naturally as well. You can tell them, or you can treat it as a conversation where you understand a little bit about themselves, about the journey, about what they do, about the skills that they have, how they help their clients. Is there any achievement out of their support with the clients? So those are the things that you will capture. Currently, yes. Is it possible to interview them in person and record it too? Yes, of course. If you can. If you get matched with a client who is like in your state, and then they want to have an in-person meeting with you, you can do that. Cool. And with that process, the interview process, you will capture the words, the thinking, and the tone as well, which is really important. If you write the content for yourself, you already know how you want to convey your message, right? But if you write the content for another person, especially they are a specialist or an expert in the field, it might be a bit trickier to do, That's why we have this process to capture their tone to ensure that the content that you write for them, which will be published on their social media platform, which will be published on their website, is aligned with their tone. So if someone they know, or someone that they already have some conversation in real life already, when they read the content, they notice that, oh, that actually like a real person content instead of just AI generated or someone else do it for them. So it's more authentic, and resonated with the audience who read those content. Next, so after you run the interview, you have all of the insight, you have all of the transcripts saved in Google Drive, right? And the next step is creating a copywriting toolkit. So if you think of the content plan, for example, for the personal blog, you will have, in order to publish a blog, what do you need? You need a blog copy. You need a thumbnail, like the article cover for that blog, and you need a caption. So in order to write so it's really important that you have a copywriting toolkit to ensure that even if you write like 24 pieces of content, the tone, and then the tone is always consistent. So after the interview, you turn the transcript into a tone of voice document, and then also a copywriting checklist using AI. We use ChatGPT and AI tools a lot in our process as a supporter to maximize our efficiency. And these documents will become your copywriting toolkit for either for your personal brand or your client brand, if they haven't got any. I know that for clients like Recharge Osteo or Physio Educator, they are a long-term client. So there's many, marketing coordinators and interns working on that account already. So they might already have these documents in place. So it's a bit easier for you to, continue to work on that. But with clients like BYOB participants, they starting their new business. So they might need these documents to start with, and you will be assisting them to do that. So the process will be in the ChatGPT. When you access in ChatGPT, for each client, you will create a separate folder for them. Yeah. So if you're working on 2 clients, for example, Recharge and Physio Educator, you need to create 2 different folders for them. And all of the conversation, of the prompts that you use to generate content or any conversation you have to get support from AI, just make sure that you start with that folder so that everything is organized in one place, and so also that in the future, if someone else jumping into your account, they can see the background information, they can see the conversation happening behind the scene, to continue with that work. I might do that live here so that you can follow the process. And also just unmute and ask me anytime if you have any questions. Okay, can you see my screen now? Can you give me a thumbs up? Yep, okay. So after you log into Intern at CampusLife email, there will be like the bookmarks here for all of the tools that you might need, like the ChatGPT or even Canva is saved here, so that when you log into it, you can easily access it. So you open ChatGPT, and then as you can see on the left-hand side, there's a lot of folder. These are the chat, the conversation that the previous in-text intern used to work on their projects. We don't want these chat to be appearing here because it's really hard to know which kind of which clients you having this conversation with. So ideally, we have a separate folder for each client. So you click on New Project here. and just type the project name as in the client name or even your name, because you're going to create content for your personal branding as well, right? So just put your name here. I'll start with like Pearly, and then you can create the emoji, any colors you like, and then create project. Just easy as that. After that, you will have this folder here. So anytime that you want to ask anything about, you have to have conversation with ChatGPT about that client, just click into that folder and start a new chat here. Yeah. And I would suggest you to spend some time to play around with ChatGPT more as well if you haven't already. You can add photo files, create image, you can do deep research, and a lot of things there in ChatGPT. I know that there's a lot of different AI tools in the market at the moment, but we provide and use ChatGPT a lot in our processes at Social Star. Okay, next, let me reshare the slide. Okay, so next, after you create that folder, you will click into the resources section, and then you upload the interview transcript that you have with the client. If they already have any marketing plan, you upload it there as well. If they already have a content plan, you upload it as well. So that ChatGPT will have all the background information of the business, the content ideas, so that you don't have to always putting the prompt of the ideas all the way there. Yeah. And then you start a new chart and put in this prompt. So based on the conversation I had with like client A in the file attacked, can you analyze and create a brand tone document and a copywriting checklist for client name? And here's an outcome example for your reference. And I have the reference here as well, which I can show you. So after you putting the prompt, you will expect to receive this document from ChatGPT. Yeah. They will give you the voice overview of the client. They will give you the core voice traits. They will give you the language and structure that client is using. They give you the signatures ideas that you can write for content. They will give you the writing framework, do and don't, like what do you want to include in the copywriting for that client, or what are the specific words or phrases that client don't use. So all of this information you can capture using AI, which is really amazing. And then they will give you the copywriting checklist as well. So after you finish, so after you creating content, you can use this checklist to ensure that it's aligned with the tone and the language that the client is using. Yeah. When I share this slide for you, you will be able to click through this link and view the experience. And then when you put it into ChatGPT, just copy what we have there in that file and then paste it to ChatGPT prompt so that they can give you the version you wanted based on this example. Yeah. And once that documents are generated, as in the two main document, brand tone and copywriting checklist, you download them and then upload them back to the resources, to the sources in the client's ChatGPT folder, as well as the G Drive. As CampusLife, we have many interns, we have many clients, so we always want to make sure that all of the documents of the information of specific clients will be sitting in specific client folder. Yeah. Okay. Is it clear for you so far? Any questions before I move on? Lee, yep. Footage. where do you upload your footage of interviews? The footage of interview, you can upload it to G Drive, because what you want for ChatGPT is just the script. So you will upload the script to ChatGPT so that it captures the tone. But for the video footage, just G Drive is enough. Cool. So next is any other questions though? Cool. So next, after you have all of those stuff, you have the brand tone, you have the copywriting checklist. Now you will start writing content, but with AI support. We do have a specific prompt for you to put it into ChatGPT so that it can generate the content that you want to generate. So instead of putting vague prompt like, can you create me like a content piece on like healthcare industry, like for example, if instead of vague prompt like that, we have a document for you to put the prompt. I can open it here so that you can have a look. Yeah. Can you guys see the screen? So this is a template for the prompt to create content. Yeah, it's already have all of the information that you need to put in to ensure that it's generate the effective content for you. So what you need to put in is the purpose of the content, what you want to achieve when you create that content for client. What is the role you want the ChatGPT tool to do? So you want it to be a strategic copywriter for your client, right? What is the primary objective of that content? What is that content piece type? Is it a LinkedIn post? Is it a blog? Is it a carousel? So that it can generate like the exact format for the content type that you wanted. Really important, you need to put in the audience and insight. Who is the main target audience? What is their current context? What is the core attention? What are the desired shifts they want after they read that content piece? You can use it as this is like this could be a prompt for like a ideas for your blog structure as well, because you want to deliver the content that audience actually want to read and have the desire to read. So these are really important. If you want to get this information from the client, obviously you can include these questions, like the questions of who is your target audience, or who is your client, like what is the main challenges or problem that your target audience is currently facing when you work with them. Those type of questions you can add on your interview questions as well, so that you can get the information from. And then constraints, quality bar, what is the tone that you want it to be, what you want to avoid. So after you have multiple conversation with your client, you will know that there are specific words or specific, phrases that they don't want to mention, so that you can put it here as well. And then context and positioning, what are the topic or the focus on the content piece? This one you can copy and paste from your content plan, because in the content plan you will have specific topics for it already. So you can copy and paste here. And all of these things, like if you putting the prompt to ChatGPT, just ensure you customize it, and then customize these are the main thing that you need to put on, and here is the example. So you need to customize it for your client after these signals, these size. Yeah. Yep. So as I just show you, just start a new chart and complete all the section marked with this sign in the document that I just showed you before running the prompt to ensure that it generates the closest content outcomes and results that you aim for. And just make sure that for each content pillars, you should have its own dedicated chart within your ChatGPT folder. So if Richard Osteo, that is one client folder, right? So under that folder, they should have 4 main charts. The first one is personal blog. The second one is business blog. The next one is internal post. The last one is external post. Those are the 4 main charts that we should have in each client folder. And similarly for yourself, they should have 4 main charts as well. You can have more charts with them if you have other projects that you want to work on. For example, website copy. If there's any newsletter copy you need to create, they can be in separate chart. But my point is that each of the content pillars or each of the charts should have its own dedicated file for it, so that when you jump in and continue the chart, it's always there for you. And in the next month, if you want to create another personal blog, you can just jump back into that personal blog file and continue the chart from there. Because you already have the prompt on the top with the first month, it will be much easier and effective for the ChatGPT to run through it again and give you more accurate outcomes. Yep, does it make sense? Perfect. Any other questions? Any questions from you guys? Happy to answer when we are here. Okay. I assume that the process is pretty clear for you, and it might take a bit of time to process. So just make sure you read the slides again after the call and practice it. Yeah. And I do have a next step here for you to practice after this training. So after this training, please create a ChatGPT folder under your name, because as I mentioned, for the first 2 months, we will train you to create content through LinkedIn for your own personal brand. I want you to start with your personal brand first. So create a ChatGPT folder under your name, and then develop a brand tone document and a copywriting checklist for your personal brand. And make sure that you save this both in your ChatGPT folder and the shared drive. And then prepare a set of interview questions for 1 piece of content from the first month content, just 1 piece. So if you have 6-month content, 6-month content plan, 4 pieces per month. Now I just need you to create content for 1 piece only. Just 1 piece, yeah. And you will have your body to interview you to draw out your insight. So let's say the piece of content that you want to write about is my journey from a marketing student to a marketing intern, for example. Or your blog could be about how do I get a marketing job, a marketing internship in Melbourne. And you will create the interview questions just to generate content for that piece. And then you will get your buddy to interview you so that you can tell them your stories and the insight, and that will be captured in the transcript. And then you will use that transcript to create those copywriting toolkits, and then create a content piece based on that interview. With the body, I will send you a list. I will send you a list of, like who is your buddy. So after that, you need to, talk to them and schedule a meeting between you guys to have this interview. And I would love to have this content piece ready by next week, so that we can come back again next week, and I can give you some feedback for your content piece. Any questions? Lee? Yep. Nope. Sorry. Okay. I have completed all tasks so far, including introduce myself to WhatsApp group, LinkedIn, connections for the week, 6-month content plan, etc. What day in the week do you think is the best to post on LinkedIn, weekday or weekend? So for Social Star, we usually post it on Tuesday, 11:30, because that time is usually the before lunchtime. So we post the content, and people usually open LinkedIn during lunchtime to to get updated. So we will get more chance that our content will pop up on their page. So that is the optimal time that we usually do. However, it will be varies depend on each account. Because you will have different audiences, right? So for office workers, they might open LinkedIn during work days. But if your networks and your connections are mainly university students, for example, they might have different active time. So it's important that you will analyze those stats at the end of the month, or after a few weeks after you post the content, to know that what is the optimal time that your audience is active on LinkedIn. All good? Any questions before we wrap up? No? All good. So I think that will wrap up today trainings that I would like to run through you guys. I hope it's clear, and if there's any questions, feel free to send your question into our WhatsApp group, and then we can support you during the process. And also just a heads up, because my work schedule is changing at the moment. So from next week, we will start our calls at 3 p.m. Melbourne time on every Wednesday instead of 4 p.m. I hope that time works for you guys, but if not, just make sure that you catch up on recordings as well. If you can't join this time, can you please just text me ASAP so that I can reschedule it to another time that suits the most of you? Yeah. Just send me a text like by today so that I can plan it. Okay, that is everything from me today, guys. Thank you for attending. And I hope you have the good rest of your day. See you.
Thanks, Pearly.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank
Pearly.
you.
See you.
Thanks, Willie.
Thank you.